Very warm good evening to all. Today we are going to discuss the landmark judgments of the Supreme Court of India. These judgments not only guide the law of the country but also develops the law for the future. If we go through these judgments, this will help you to understand how the laws are made, how the Supreme Court functions, and how these judgments make an impact on the coming generation and the coming time. The first one and the easiest one I would like to take is the Arnesh Kumar versus State of Bihar. This is a judgment which has actually changed the criminal practice and the dimension of the criminal matters in India. Those who know these judgments, they know that in a criminal trial, criminal case where the punishment is up to 7 years, there is no need to be arrest of the persons who are involved in that crime. Now, how this law or this judgment came down, we will go through that. Arnesh Kumar versus State of Bihar is a judgment where Mr. Arnesh Kumar, who was charged for the dowry and also the 492, that is the matrimonial dispute, and an FIR was lodged in the Bihar. He went to the session court to take the anticipatory bail. His anticipatory bail was rejected by the session court. Thereafter, he approached the High Court. There also it was rejected. Now, he came by way of SLP to the Supreme Court. Here, he was granted bail, but the law laid down, or I would say the law interpreted in a way, had completely changed the dimension of criminal practice in India. Previously, the police used to come and take people in the custody, whatever the small offense. It's a non-bailable offense, the police used to arrest. Or either you go for anticipatory bail is granted. Now, because of Arnesh Kumar, what happened? That the law laid down that in a case where the punishment is up to 7 years, there will not be arrest done unless and until there is a reason. The police has to record the reason for arresting the person, and the judicial officer who will remand them to the custody has also to record the reasons and come to the conclusion that arrest is necessary to give justice or to find out the truth or to do more investigation. Now, in this matter, what happened? It was brought before the court, Supreme Court of India, that there was an arrest of almost about 1,97,762 people. That is NCRB report. And these were all mostly under the 498 cases. That is a matrimonial dispute, where the wife lodges an FIR for harassment or cruelty meted out to her by the in-law. Now, what happened? This 1,97,762 people were arrested. Out of this, 47,000 were ladies, and these ladies were elderly mother in law. There were sister in law who were already abroad living for decades. They were married off, they were not even staying in the matrimonial house, but the complaint was lost. So 498 had become at that time a tool. I'm just giving the general idea what was that time. There was a tool to harass or to complain against the husband and the in-laws and get them arrested. And this arrest is to bring these family people lot of humiliation. Their liberty was curtailed, and there was a complete scar on the freedom of their freedom for the entire life ahead, because once they go inside they were told that yes, ये तो पुलिस में जाके है. This was the interpretation that time of the people, those who have arrested. Now there was a lot of humiliation, insult to the people for a personal matter. Ultimately this matter is to settle, because the conviction rate was only 15%. When there is a 15% conviction rate, and these people were arrested for no reason, they were from good family sometime. This was a matrimonial dispute. Ultimately, the matter is to settle. The Supreme Court granted the bail to the Arnesh Kumar, but at the same time, they said Section 41, which Law Commission has also said, it is amended, and under that Section 41, the people who are booked under the crime where the punishment is up to 7 years, they need not be arrested unless until there is reason for that. They need to be given a notice of appearance. That was under Section 41A of CRPC at the time. Now it is under BNS section. Uh, BNSS, it is 35, Section 35. Now, when we say that, when there is section 35 is there, in this section, now there will be a notice given, and they have to appear before the police officer, give the statement, give the documentary proof, whatever they have, their statement will be recorded, and there will not be requirement of the bail. And this Arnesh Kumar laid down the law that this only will not only apply to only to the cases which are matrimonial dispute of 498. For 498, remember it, the punishment was 3 years. It is for the case, all the cases, not only 498, all the cases where the punishment is up to 7 years, they will not be arrested. Now, what happens if the police do not give notice? Then there will be contempt, and the contempt will can be filed against the police officer in the high court of that particular state. If it is Maharashtra, it will be Bombay High Court. If it is Delhi, Delhi High Court. Also, if the police arrest that person and brings it before the judicial officer, that is JMFC or Court, and the judicial officer has to satisfy himself that there is a need to arrest these people where the punishment is up to 7 years. He should come to the conclusion, give reasoning that there is a need to arrest. Then if he also does not, he fails in duty, there is a possibility that there will be inquiry, department inquiry under judicial officer. Such was the law of the Arnesh Kumar. So Arnesh Kumar in fact helped to reduce the pendency of the cases, because anticipatory bail was no more required, because all these cases where the punishment up to 7 years at the police station, the people were called, and if they cooperated with the investigation, the charge sheet will be filed. So that was the law laid down in the Arnesh Kumar. So Arnesh Kumar completely helped the general public, where they were feeling that they will be arrested, and what will happen to their reputation. So here there were ladies, there were in-laws, there were grandparents were arrested sometime. So in a way, this judgment has completely changed the scenario of the I will say criminal practice in a country, because the first beginning is start from the arrest of the police. There are two more judgments. We will go to that also. But Arnesh Kumar is the, I would say, the most landmark celebrated judgment, which not only the lawyer should know, but also the common people should know. Read Arnesh Kumar. That is why it is included in the Supreme Court AOR examination. Now, next we go to the another case, that is the DK Basu was a state of West Bengal. It is somewhat similar to the case of Arnesh Kumar, but this was a long back in the year 96, 97. Now, this case has actually is a example of custodial jurisprudence in our country. If somebody wants to write a thesis, book, paper, law papers on the custodial jurisprudence, then this is a case where we should take the help and read it properly. This is a judgment which has laid down the arrest guidelines in the country. Also, now I will say there is custodial jurisprudence. What happened that there was a report in the some newspaper, Telegraph and Statesman, where there was a custodial death. This was a news item, and this was brought to the Chief Justice of India, and a letter was also written, and it was brought to the notice of Chief Justice with the letter. There was one more person, Ashok Jori. If you read the judgment, his name also appears in that judgment. He was from West Bengal. He also wrote a letter which was also treated as a writ petition. Now these both letters were treated as a writ petition under Article 32. Now what happened in those both these matters? There was a custodial death. Now a person who loses his life in the custody, in the presence of the police people, what happens to his body? There will not be any explanation to it, and the family loses the person. Now there was a big hue and cry, and the Supreme Court took the cognizance of the same, and they actually laid down guidelines for arrest. Uh, we will discuss one more case of the Joginder Kumar versus State. This is of 1994. What happened in this case? A lawyer who was 28 years old, he was brought to the police station, and for 5 days he was detained without any information to his family. He did not return the home. His family filed a habeas corpus in the Supreme Court of India. When this was filed, the Supreme Court said that you cannot arrest a person like this, and he was a lawyer, and there was little bit arrest that his family should be informed. Little bit. Joginder Kumar also, I would say, one more judgment previous to this, which came in the way of this judgment also, and in a way it was a chain. There was one more judgment with Nilabati Behra versus State of Orissa. Here, Nilabati's son, he was arrested and he was found dead the next day at the railway station. He was handcuffed and there was injury on his body. She wrote a letter to the Supreme Court of India. Here also the Supreme Court said the state must pay the compensation for the injury caused to him for the custodial death. So these were two judgments which are in the chain with the DK Basu. In DK Basu, the court took cognizance there was a like violation of human rights. See, the person arrested may be detained, may be convict, maybe accused, maybe he has taken for the inquiry purpose. The way he is detained, he is arrested, but he also has some right. So state cannot terrorize a terrorist also. This was the language used in judgment. There cannot be state terrorism. These rights have to balance. Once a person is arrested, that does not mean he loses all his fundamental rights. No, he does not lose all his fundamental rights. His fundamental rights are still protected, which are basic rights. Now, in wherever there is you cannot take away the life of some person. The state cannot take away. You want to inquire, you want to interrogate, but you cannot use the third degree to elicit information to find out the true cause or whatever. You cannot force a person or beat him black and blue to that level that he loses his life. So this is a case where there were 11 guidelines. It is known as also requirement of the let down. The word is used is requirement. The person who arrests this person, the police officer, he should have the identification, the badge, his name, his position, whether he API police inspector. He should prepare a memo, arrest memo. He should also prepare the if there is any injury on his part, that panchanama is also to be made. His body panchanama, that what is it? If you see any affair, you will normally find that there is a uh, panchanama, and also there is a column in the affair where he says there is no injury on his part, or on the body there is this part is there. And every 48 hours he has to be examined medically. He has to be produced within the 24 hours of his arrest to nearest magistrate. Ilaka, whatever papers, once he is arrested, diary is made, FIR is lost, these all paper has to be sent to the Ilaka magistrate. Also he will be allowed to meet his counsel, not to complete during the complete interrogation session, but whenever he wants to meet his counsel. The police control room of that particular district will be informed. Suppose here a person is arrested in Mumbai and he belongs to Thane, then Thane control room will be informed. Also his parents or his family members has to be involved. If he does not have family, his friends has to be informed. See, that time there was no mobile and all that in those time, but then his family has to be informed within 8 to 12 hours after his arrest. Should be entry of this. These are all guidelines of the in DK Basu matter. Now, what they wanted to make the police accountable and the transparency should be there. They say that even a person, when he is arrested, his right, he does not do all the fundamental rights. Even he has rights for to, counsel to defend himself. There are so many things. And if these rights are not taken care of, there will be a contempt of court. And also to safeguard his rights, he can come to the court and there will be preventive measures to be taken. So DK Basu is one more important judgment which helps that if any person who dies in the custody or any lady who is raped and murder, in those cases also there will be a, for this Dorcious Act, they can sue the government, that is a state government, because the police is a state subject. They can sue the government, that is state government, for the compensation, that is under Article 226 before the High Court and under Article 32 before the Supreme Court. This is in addition to the civil remedy under the tort, they can further claim the compensation. So it is a duty of the state government. In Nilavati's Behra's case, she was given compensation because her son died while he was in police custody. So the state government has to give compensation, and this was a duty uh, on the put upon the person, that is state government, who is responsible. The police officer has to face the cases also. If the he or she that lady, if this is a rape or murder, or if there is a convict is a lady or a person or a male or female, they will be prosecuted. There are cases recent in Maharashtra. Some people were at least I think 6 people or 8 people were prosecuted because there was a custodial death. So for custodial death, this is the landmark judgment. Now this judgment further says that this compensation will be in addition to the compensation which the person, suppose the person died or the victim is alive, then he or she himself can go for the compensation. So sovereign, that sovereign, the government or the state government will not have sovereign immunity. Just because they are police or they are government, they can do anything. So this is also a landmark judgment. So DK Basu is one of the important judgment which is still referred, still cited in many of the cases, and it is one of the most milestone cases of the Supreme Court of India. Now, next we go to Shakti Vahini versus Union of India. This is recent judgment, though it is of 2018. And the irony is that it is, though it is an on honor killing, under the new law, there is no new section for the honor killing. Now, there was a report that in the year 2014 to 2016, there were 288 cases of honor killing. Now, for honor killing, I will explain that where a boy or girl of they may either they marry intercaste or interreligious, and there was mostly in the states of Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, and Punjab. What happened? There was almost any there was panchayats, and they were also called khap panchayats, or the assembly of the community people. If any boy or girl of they used to make intercaste marriage or the interreligious marriage, the panchayat used to call them and they used to punish them. In some of the cases, the family or the relative used to punish them, or also it was a mass killing also. So it was an honor killing cases, and in the year 2014 to 16 there were 288 cases. That was the report. Now there were, the Supreme Court felt there is a necessity to give directions, as there was no law. See why we should read this judgment. This judgment teaches us that how the law is developed, though there is no law. Now, Shakti Vahini was an NGO which filed the cases against Union of India and all the, when you call Union of India, all the other states are also joined. The Supreme Court issued notices to all the Union of India, central government, law commission, and all the state government. Many state government filed the reply. There was also a amicus curiae appointed by the Supreme Court to find out a way that a boy or girl who chooses to find out a person of his or her choice to marry, and if the family or the community or the panchayat of the village comes in their way, then they should be protected. Now if they are not protected, and if something happens, that this agency not this is self proclaimed agencies, that Kap Panchayat, they will be prosecuted for doing so, for honor killing or punishing that boy and girl. So there was a direction by the Supreme Court of India that preventive measures has to be taken for the panchayat. First of all, if the panchayat or Kap panchayats are doing constructive work, the police should not interfere. But if they are not doing constructive work and they are coming in the way of that boy or girl or the marriage of some intercaste or interreligious, the police has to take preventive action, give them explanation that they can't do it, they give them notices, and all these were allowed. There are also remedial measures. If in spite of giving the information and notices, they still come in the way of the boy and girl of, or they commit to any honor killing, then FIR has to be lodged. The security has to be provided if the boy and girl are alive, their families. And apart from that, there is a punitive action, that departmental inquiry. If there is a possible, there is a police officer who fails to do that, then there will be a departmental action also. Previously, these honor killing cases were registered under IPC under section 219 to 304, that is murder or culpable homicide. Now under BNS, it is 103 and 105. Unfortunately, there is still not a law in India for the honor killing. But Shakti Vahini is a case, landmark case, which says that Supreme Court can issue guidelines, can issue directions if there is no law in existence. For honor killing is a such was that when there were 280 cases brought to the notice of the court, Supreme Court, they said it's a very huge issue. After so many years of independence, if this is what is going on, how we are going to become a secular state? Also, there will not be an accountability, and there will be anarchy. See, if a person who is grown up and he or she cannot make a choice, then there will be anarchy, there will be total collapse of the legal system, and this cannot be allowed. So there was a direction, and till date, though there is no law, but under the IPC previously, now under the BNS, these cases are registered. So it has reduced. In Bihar in last few years, I was told that there is no cases of the honor killing, which is somewhere because of the I would say the Shakti Vahini case, which has led down and brought this problem to the light of the people. So these cases of the Supreme Court actually laid down the law, enlighten all of us, those who are in the practice, and also the common people. So landmark cases, celebrated or milestone cases are not only for the lawyers but also for the people, common people, to understand that when there is no law, Supreme Court will come to their aid. This why these cases are called leading cases of Supreme Court of India, and they are the part of the AOR examination. So this was all three cases. If there is any question, let me know. You can unmute yourself. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine, fine. Thank you so much.
Um,
Hello,
ma'am,
am I
Hello,
audible?
ma'am,
audible.
Yeah.
One by one.
Yeah. Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead. You ask question. I will ask later on.
Who is asking?
Some lady is there. She is asking.
Okay,
That's why.
you can continue.
Yes. Okay, ma'am. We observe many a time regarding any kind of protest happening or any kind of law and order have to be ensured by the state. At that time, the police officers or the cops, what they do, they hide their names. It is a clear violation of the DK Basu guideline because in the DK
Perfect,
Basu guideline,
perfect.
yes,
You got it right. Perfect. He cannot. Recently, it
yes,
happened in Delhi, Jantar Mandir.
yes.
Yeah,
So,
you
so,
can.
so, apart from the DK Basu line, DK Basu guidelines, there is any kind of a SOP made by the Honorable High Courts or the Supreme
No,
Courts?
no, no, no. See, this is actually that anybody who is in the police uniform, they have to highlight their badge, their name, and also the position, whether they API police officer, police constable. It is mandatory.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Definitely it's a mandatory, but they are not doing the same things.
They can,
So,
there can be a complaint. You can do a complaint if this
okay.
kind of cases comes.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, ma'am.
बोला
नमस्कार मैम।
नमस्कार।
मैं हिंदी या मराठी में बोल सकती हूँ?
हाँ, हाँ, किसी भी भाषा में बोल सकते हैं।
ओके मैम, थैंक यू। अ, हिंदी में बोलती हूँ। अगर एक किसी को ऐसे डीके बासु जैसे अरेस्ट करके लेके जाते, लेकिन वो एक मैंने देखा है कि पढ़ते हैं हम लोग केस जैसे कि वो एटलीस्ट एकदम सुबह नहीं लेके जाते। वो देखा ना ऐसे कभी-कभी अरेस्ट होता है 3-4 बजे ऐसे लेके जाते। तो उनको मतलब इतना जो जिसको अरेस्ट किया हुआ रहता है, उसको उतना टाइम नहीं मिलता है। 5 के बाद में तो कोर्ट नहीं होता है, उनको बेल मिले या कोई उनको मतलब अपने सामने फेस करने के लिए, बताने के लिए टाइम नहीं मिलता है। फिर ऑटोमेटिकली वो सैटरडे, संडे तक को देखा है कि फ्राइडे को ज़्यादा ऐसा होता है कि फ्राइडे को अरेस्ट करो या सैटरडे, संडे तो कोर्ट बंद रहती है। थोड़ी चालू रहती है तो मंडे तक तो उसमें वो जो है व्यक्ति है जो बिना इसके चला गया हो या ये तो उसका तो अगर कस्टडी में जाएगा तो उसको
देखिए,
तकलीफ होगी है तो
हाँ, हाँ,
उसका कैसे करे मैम? मतलब
नहीं,
थोड़ा सा प्लीज।
सुनिए ना, सुनिए। डीके बासु या कोई भी गाइडलाइंस यही बोलता है, एक तो लेडी रहती है, उसको सनसेट मतलब के पहले ही लेना है, सनराइज़ सनसेट के बीच में। अनलेस बहुत बड़ा क्राइम है, छोटे-मोटे क्राइम के लिए और अप टू अगर आपने अरनेश कुमार का बिगनिंग में केस मैंने बोला सुना होगा, तो अप टू 7 इयर्स तक मतलब आपको अरेस्ट नहीं किया जा सकता, आपको नोटिस आएगी। 15 दिन के अंदर पुलिस को एफआईआर होने के बाद 15 दिन के अंदर नोटिस देने अगर एफआईआर लॉन्च हो जाता है। लेकिन वो पुलिस अगर नोटिस देती है तो आपको अपीयर होना है उनके सामने, पुलिस ऑफिस का आप लॉयर भी लेके जा सकते हैं। दूसरा आप बोल रहे हो कि सैटरडे, संडे अरेस्ट करते हैं या फ्राइडे इवनिंग में अरेस्ट करते हैं। उसका एक बात मैं आपको समझाती हूँ कि देखो अभी डकॉइटी है, रेप है, ऐसे बहुत सीरियस ऑफेंसेस है ना उसमें अरेस्ट होता है जिसमें पनिशमेंट अप टू मोर देन 7 है। तो वो क्राइम है ना बहुत सीरियस होगा वैसे टाइम पे। दूसरा वो 24 घंटे के अंदर उसको जब भी अरेस्ट होते हैं अरेस्ट पंचनामा बनता है, अरेस्ट मेमो बनता है और उसकी फैमिली का सिग्नेचर लेना बहुत ज़रूरी है, वाइफ का। अगर वाइफ नहीं है उसके बच्चे नहीं है, उसकी माता-पिता नहीं है, तो उसके बाजू वाला नेबर का भी सिग्नेचर लेना बहुत मैंडेटरी है अभी, नहीं तो कंडेम हो जाता है। ऐसे केसेस हुए हैं कि बताया नहीं तो कंडेम हो गया और पूरा केस ही उड़ गया और पुलिस ऑफिसर पे केस हो जाता है। तो ये केसेस आज जो डिस्कस हुए बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट केसेस है। मैं केसेस आपको दूँगी
मैम
इसमें, आप
थैंक यू
पढ़
मैम।
लेना। मैं ग्रुप में दूँगी तो पढ़ लेना आप।
ओके मैम, थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
जी, जी, जी।
Thank you, ma'am.
जी, जी। थैंक यू, थैंक यू।